They say that you should still be vaccinated.
Oh, absolutely. No, there's no question I will. Hey.
Yeah. Because there's another, like I was listening to a doctor this morning, and he said a couple, husband and wife team, one got sick, not the other, months ago, and then one got sick again. He gave it to the other. Both sick. And the second time was worse.
Really?
Yeah. So they were like, get vaccinated.
Yeah. No, I as soon as it's available, I'll be happy to get vaccinated.
Right. I know.
Hey, but this is my theory, Amy.
Yes.
Cause yay, Susie, you made it.
Right now, he just got out of the sauna from a little nap. Little nap.
It's a rough life you lead over there in the mountains. Up in the mountains. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Hang on. Kim's calling me, so let me see what Kim's saying.
Okay.
Hey.
Is she still out of town?
Okay, you're fine. I'll just do it.
It might be a Katie only class.
Maybe a Katie only. That's fine too.
Yeah.
I just need to get yoga on today.
Yeah.
Are you in touring?
Turn off the news for 2 seconds. I swear.
Oh my God. Can you believe that they're storming the castle?
No.
So crazy. And they're just crazy.
You can't get it to work on your computer. You can use your phone.
I had it on just in my ear all day, and I'm like, why did I do that? I just feel drained today now.
Okay, no stress.
Oh, crazy.
Worst case, I can do the class myself, and it's like
storming the castle.
I don't know what they think they're going to be doing by doing that. Just make themselves look even worse.
I know. Maybe arrested. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Kim said that her Wi-Fi just went out. Hi, Jane. Welcome back to reality.
Yes.
Did you have fun?
Fabulous.
Good.
It was wonderful. It was
good.
Delightful. Possibly not as good as Thailand, but
where were you at, Jane?
Where'd you go?
I was in Maui for 2 weeks with my family.
Oh.
My kids and my grandson. So
did you have to quarantine for 14 days?
No, we just had to have COVID test 72 hours.
Yeah.
But it was a shit show getting a COVID test here. There's one testing facility, that's Walgreens in Salt Lake. And one.
It's only one Walgreens, right?
Yeah. One Walgreens, the Salt Lake Walgreens. We had to go to the Ogden Walgreens.
Yeah.
But
I heard that.
I'm babysitting a dog right now that I've had for 3 weeks. It's a Samoyed. It's not a little dog. It's a Samoyed because the family tested in negative onto the plane, off the plane positive.
Oh no.
Like they tested in negative, off the plane positive, then they had a quarantine and they were getting married. There was this whole thing. So they had to postpone their trip. That's why I have the dog for 3 weeks.
Oh. And that's why we can't do yoga retreats, even though we want to really bad.
I know.
That shit happened. No bueno. Hey, Kim, you made it. Yay.
Yay.
And me and Andrea and T-Dog? Is that T-Dog?
Yeah.
Oh, my love, to see you.
Darkness. In the darkness of Andrea's house, even darker than my house. To be fair, we are in the basement.
Anya, you are so damn funny. So funny.
You are so damn funny.
Damn.
Thank you.
Stop encouraging her.
Andrea's the only person who thinks I'm not funny in this world, so.
Okay, I want Susie. I know you just went away, Susie. Come back for a second. Because you guys need to meet Susan. She's one of my best friend's mom. You guys know Allie, some of you who came to Bali. Yeah, it's her mom. And Susie, next time you need to come to Thailand next year with us.
Yeah.
We're trying to move it to October, so everybody should just come again next time. For sure. Anyway, and Susie, you should, and Allie should too.
Just tell us the
I'm gonna
date.
throw it out there, see what happens.
I want to come to every single retreat you
Yeah,
guys-
ever.
ever.
Yes, yes, ever.
I want to be retired. Can I be retired? Okay.
Hi, Jossie.
Hi.
Happy bear.
Okay, should we do it?
I'm gonna real quick.
Oh, do you guys need my playlist? Does everybody here that wants my playlist have it?
Yes.
I have it.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Susie, you can turn your video off. I give you permission now. And anybody else can do that as well. Kim, are you good to teach the first part then?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, I had a little Wi-Fi mishap, but I think I figured it out. Can you guys hear me okay and see me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
This is so needed, especially after watching CNN all afternoon.
So true.
WTF, you guys.
Oh,
Storm in the castle.
yeah.
Storm in the
But we have Georgia.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I've
That's
never-
my home state. I'm so proud of them.
Oh, good.
I'm really proud of them.
I'm so proud of them too. Okay, anyway.
All right. Let's get this show on the road. Do you guys have any requests before we start? Do you have any?
So I was doing a fitness gram with my students today, and I had to do 3 8-minute planks. So my
Don't do
everything.
that. So don't do
everything
that.
hurts.
So are you saying you want to do more 8-minute planks?
No. But I need to like release the tension.
I'll get you, Amy. I'll get you.
Okay.
So maybe some heart openers. Want to do that? Okay. All right, guys, let's do it. So if you are working, if you want to do Katie's playlist, you can start that at any time. We'll just start here in a seated position wherever you are on your mat, and take a moment just to get grounded and take a little inventory before we start some movement. So if you are comfortable with your eyes closed, you can go ahead and do that. And take a few breaths here in grounded stillness. I know it's been a really crazy day in our country, and so at least for this next hour or so of practice together, I would invite you to really inhabit your body, to move as much as you can out of the thinking, spiraling mind and wandering thoughts, down into the felt sense of breathing and being in the body. And we'll really use our body and breath here in our practice tonight as an anchor, as a reminder of our present moment experience. And so if you find yourself in our practice today kind of wandering off or worrying or getting caught up in thought or emotion, just take a moment to acknowledge that and then come back to this breath, this moment, this experience you're having now. So as you draw your next full breath in through the nostrils, you hold full for just a moment. And then send a long sigh out the mouth. And just let it release. Let the shoulders relax down. Another like that. Full breath in through the nose. Hold all the way full. Fill up the lungs. And cleansing sigh out the mouth, just let it release. Good. One more like that, full breath in. As full as you can, maybe sip in a little more air. And sigh out the mouth, let it release and cleanse, let it go. Good. And then moving toward your ujjayi breath, so that oceanic whisper sound, engaging the muscles at the back of your throat. And then let's start to bring some movement into the upper body. We're just going to take the first little bit here, just moving intuitively according to your own range of motion, your own body. Maybe you move in more of a circle through the torso or a twist. Or maybe you want to involve the arms here. There's not really a prescribed way to do this, but some opening up, intuitive movement on your own for maybe 3 or 4 more breaths here. Good. Nice job. And then we are going to transition. There's no rush, but we are going to transition forward to the hands and the knees. So whenever you're ready, come forward to hands and knees and start some movement here through cat-cow. Opening up the heart, little lift of the tailbone on in-breath. And then exhale, a rounding of the spine, tucking through the tail, chin to chest. Good. Moving back and forth here like a wave. And following your breath and your range of motion. Good, and you can start to switch this up a little bit. If you want to send this into a child's pose for a few breaths, or maybe you want to take this, the hips in a circle, or just continuing with cat-cow, that's fine too. Okay, so taking 3 or 4 more breaths in this way. And if it's comfortable for you to do this with your eyes closed, you can really tune into your body. That's a nice way to go sometimes. So a couple more here. Good. And then we are going to make our way into a downward facing dog. So as you press your palms into the floor, lift your knees off of the mat and draw the hips up and the thighs back. And you might notice that the heels will start to make their way just a little bit closer to the floor. They may not ever get to the floor, and that's okay. Just kind of moving in that direction. Maybe a little pedaling through your feet here. Relax your neck and your jaw and the muscles of your face. Take another full breath here in this first downward dog of practice. Bend into the knees and look forward toward the hands. Take a step or light hop forward toward the top of your mat. Extend your spine, so coming to that halfway lift or flat back as you inhale. Exhale, fold and bring it in. Good. Do that one more time. Inhale, flat back, stretch forward, lengthen through the crown. Exhale, fold, and bring it in. Good. Hang out here for just a couple of breaths. Shake your head no, then nod your head yes. Feel your feet on the ground. You're going to come all the way up to standing. So reach arms wide and all the way up. Lift through your heart, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, take the arms back up. Huge breath here. Maybe even a little mini back bend. You open toward the sky. Exhale, dive forward and fold. Coming into your Uttanasana, forward fold. Long lengthen spine as you inhale. Chest and belly away from the thighs and lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold and bring it in. Let's come all the way back up to standing. So anchor the feet, stretch up tall, reach maybe slightly behind you, opening the heart. Exhale, hands together, heart center. Good, you guys. Take the arms back up on in-breath, stretch up, reach tall and open. And slow and steady dive forward, leading with your heart. You exhale into your forward fold. Halfway lift on in-breath, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, hands to the floor and step to plank pose. Good. Everybody needs to hold this except for Amy. Amy, you have permission to come down to your knees. Take a couple more breaths here. Inner thighs engaged, arms toward that midline. Take one more breath here. And then go ahead and push with your toes so the whole body shifts forward just a couple of inches. Lower down as slowly as you can muster, chaturanga. You can even take more than one breath, come all the way down to the belly. Slide your forearms forward and take Sphinx pose. So forearms forward, elbows just a little bit beyond your shoulders, and then pull the rib cage and the heart forward, creating that bit of space and traction for your spine. Take one more breath here. Exhale, lower back down. Slide your hands back next to mid-ribs. Tuck through your toes. Fire up your legs. Press back up to plank or hands and knees. And then hips to sky, downward facing dog. And take a couple of breaths here. Think about lifting through the tailbone and through the waistline as you draw both thighs back, heels toward the floor. Last full breath. Bending into your knees and look forward, step or hop lightly, top of the mat. Lengthen out your spine, so come to that halfway lift, spinal extension. Exhale, fold and bring it in a little bit deeper. Good, all the way back up to standing. So ground your feet, stretch up tall, reach and lengthen. Exhale, hands together, heart center. Good, keep this moving, stretch arms up, inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, dive forward, lead with your heart as you fold, maybe a little bend in your knees as you fold it in. Halfway lift on in-breath, lengthen forward through the crown of the head. Plant your hands, make your way to plank pose. You can step or jump your way back, lower down on your next exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, cobra, or even upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Now you're going to come forward back to plank pose. Shift your weight over to your right hand, your right palm for Vashisthasana side plank. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot, or maybe you come down to that right knee. And then send your left arm forward alongside your ear and stretch through that side body. Either keep it here or lift your left leg up, touch your toes to the ground just behind your right leg, and turn your chest more open for Wild Thing pose. So you can work with Wild Thing or anywhere in between here. Take 2 more huge breaths, reaching through the left fingertips. Good, and bring it back to plank pose. Now we're just gonna switch on over to the other side. So shift your weight to your left hand, your left palm, Roll to the outer edge of that left foot or come down to your left knee, right arm up. Maybe keep it there, or take the right arm forward alongside the ear, maybe lift your right leg up, touch your right toes to the ground just behind your left leg, and come into more of a back bend. Opening the chest toward the ceiling. Wild thing pose. Couple more breaths. Reach to the right. Fingertips, arch it back. Good. Back to your plank pose, and then right back to downward facing dog. Hips up, strong and lifted through your core. Take one more huge breath here. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Flat back, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend into your knees and sit into chair pose, Utkatasana. And so sometimes in this pose, I like to sit just a little bit deeper and lift and spread the toes so the feet stay really engaged and active. Take one more breath here. Bend your elbows. You're coming to a goal post position with your arms. Let's try to squeeze the lowest tips of the shoulder blades together and lift up a little bit more through the heart, through the sternum. Take another breath here. Stay in chair pose, you guys, and take your hands behind you. Clasp your hands behind the back. Pull back through your shoulders, lift up through your chest. Maybe try to suction cup the heels of your hands together. Slight bend in your elbows, pulling the elbows toward one another as well. Now, keep the clasp if you're able, and come into your forward fold. You can bend the knees quite a bit here. Take one more breath. And bring your hands back to your lower back, then release your clasp and bring your hands toward the floor. Flat back as you inhale, lengthen out your spine. Now take the hands down, step or hop your way back, chaturanga, or you can go directly to downward facing dog if you prefer. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Good. Now send the right leg back behind you. Reach it up to a three-legged downward dog. Take an extra breath here. Reach through your toes, lengthen through that leg. Now as you exhale, we're going to hug that right knee in toward the chest. Lift through the belly, round your spine. Take an extra breath here, lifting up to the knee and through the shin, and then step your right foot through for a high lunge. So you keep that back knee and that back heel off of the mat. You might start with the hands on the right thigh just to get your bearings here, square off the hips, and then send your arms up alongside your ears, reaching up tall. Squeeze those inner thighs toward midline, and then bend your elbows at a goal post position and bend your back knee at a hover. We're going to take about 3 more breaths here. So you might try to open up your chest a little bit more toward the ceiling, toward the sky, and bend your back knee a little bit more toward the floor. Take 1 more breath here. And then straighten out that back leg, reach the arms up, lengthen. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Pick up your back leg for standing split. So your left leg floats up into the air as you fold over the right leg. Good, keeping it here, or maybe taking the right hand or forearm back behind your right calf. For a little extra balance challenge, you can unweight your left hand as well and bring it behind your calf. 2 more breaths here. Good, fingertips to the floor. Hug your left knee in toward your chest and step your left foot down next to your right foot, and then come all the way up to standing. Stretch up, reach tall, and then exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Good. Take your right arm up, just your right arm, and shift your weight into your right foot. Open up your left palm and pick up your left foot. Grab the inside of the foot if you can. We're setting up for dancer pose or Natarajasana. So left knee pointing down, right fingertips reaching up. Maybe this is where you stay, or start to kick into that left hand, reaching the right arm forward. I like to bring my right thumb and first finger together, creating this mudra with the right hand, lifting up through the right arm and the left toes. So 2 more breaths here, you guys. Kick back with your left foot, reach up through your left toes and right fingertips. Last breath. Good, and then release out of that. Let your left foot come back to the floor, stretch the arms back up, inhale. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Uttanasana, halfway lift, inhale, lengthen out your spine. Plant your hands, step or hop your way back, move through your vinyasa, or skip your chaturanga and go directly to downward facing dog. On your next in-breath, send your left leg back, reach it up to a 3-legged downward dog. We're going to stay here for a couple of breaths, reaching through the left leg, the left toes, strong through your arms and through your core. Good, now pull your left knee in toward your chest, lift through your belly, round your spine. Maybe stay here for just a moment, lifting up through the knee and the shin, and then step your foot all the way through into that high lunge. So maybe bring your hands to your left thigh for a moment, square off the hips, hug toward that midline. Send your arms all the way up. Breathe here. Strong through that back leg as you square off your hips and keep reaching up through the arms and the fingertips. Take another breath here. Bend your elbows, so goal post the arms, bend your back knee at a hover, and start to turn the chest more open. Stay strong through your legs and through your core. Give this a couple more breaths here. Maybe opening up the chest more and lowering that back knee toward the floor. Last full breath. Straighten up your back leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down the floor. Pick up your back leg, coming into standing split. So your right leg in the air as you fold over this left leg. Maybe take your left hand and forearm behind your calf as you fold it in. If you want a little extra balance challenge here, take the right hand away as well. Both hands come behind the left calf. 2 more breaths here, active through the right toes, reaching up. Good, and then fingertips to the floor. You're gonna pull that right knee in toward your chest and step your foot down next to your left foot. Come all the way up to standing. Inhale, stretch up tall. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Good, so now take your left arm up, setting up for a Natarajasana dancer pose. Open your right palm out to the right so the right shoulder rotates back. Pick up your right foot, see if you can grab the inside of the foot with the hand. Reaching up tall, lengthen. Maybe keep it here, or start to kick the right foot back, left arm forward. Maybe bring the left thumb and first finger together and breathe here in your dancer pose. Couple more breaths, kick back even more into that right hand. Draw the right toes and the left fingertips up. Last full breath. And release. Right foot to the floor, take that left arm down. And inhale, stretch up, in reaching tall. Exhale, dive forward, folding it in. Keep this moving, you guys. Flat back as you inhale, lengthen out your spine. Plant your hands, step or hop your way back, moving through a vinyasa or going directly to downward facing dog. And as you make your way back to downward facing dog, pause here. Send your right leg back, reach it up. Now with the right leg reaching, let's try to ground or at least move that left heel closer to the floor. You might even walk your hands back just a couple of inches. Good. Now feel your right hand rooting down. Walk your left hand back to about the middle of your mat, like a chaturanga arm. So this might be where you stay. Or you could try to unweight your left hand, coming into that teeter-totter down dog. Good, you guys. And one more option here is to bend the right leg, funky little bind. Reach for your right foot with your left hand, creating that bow. And then kick it back and open. This is tricky. Take another breath here. Let go of your right foot. Re-extend. Bring your left hand to the floor. Pull your right knee in toward the chest. Step your foot through. Warrior two. So we're going to turn that back, heel flat to the ground. Whew, something we know and love. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Take a moment here to land, to arrive. If you like to open up your palms and let the shoulders settle down the back, you can work with that. Give this another full breath. And then take your arms down. Clasp your hands behind your back. So we did this when we were in our chair pose. We're going to pull back through the shoulders, knuckles down, lift up through the chest. If you're able, I'd like for you to dive forward into an ostrich pose or humble warrior. So you're going to draw that right shoulder down toward the inside of that right knee. Let your head relax down toward the floor. Continue to pull both thighs back as you relax your neck. 2 more breaths. Good. Ground your feet. Come back upright. Warrior two pose. Straighten up this right leg for triangle. So we're going to reach forward as far as we can go with the right arm and the fingertips. Take the right hand down toward the floor or the shin or the big toe. Peel back with your left arm and shoulder. So you're really strong through the legs, anchored through your feet, long through the spine and the torso. And then the heart continues to lift up. Take one more breath here. Take your left arm, your top arm, behind the back, open through the shoulder. You can take an extra breath here if you'd like. And then look down at the floor. Bend into your front leg, set up for Ardha Chandrasana or half moon. And you have the option of staying right here or taking the left arm up toward the ceiling or bending the left leg and finding a half bow. Okay, this is kind of similar to dancer pose, but we're kind of on our side here. So work with whatever variation suits you today. 2 more expansive breaths. Continue to open through the heart. Good, and then let that go. Release your left foot. Send your left hand to the floor. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. Now, plant your hands, you guys, and unweight your right leg. Stretch it back behind you and reach it up, three-legged down dog. Bend your right leg, open up your hip. Maybe that's where you stay, or we're gonna revisit wild thing pose. So unweight your right hand, flip your dog over into that three-legged back bend, or wild thing pose where that left leg can straighten out, right toes touch behind. 2 more huge breaths here. Reach back and open. And all the way back to downward dog. Maybe take a vinyasa here. Good, so let's all meet up in downward dog. Left leg in the air, reach it up. As the left leg reaches up, let's try to move the right heel closer to the ground. Maybe you walk your hands back a couple of inches. Now, really feel into the ground with your left hand. Walk your right hand back to about the middle of your mat. So you're in a kind of a chaturanga arm here with the right hand. This could be where you stay. Or unweight your right hand, come into your teeter-totter down dog. Fingertips can always stay on the ground. And then last option here is to bend that left leg. Try to find your foot with your right hand. And I hope you're laughing at me and maybe at yourself. This is a ridiculous pose. All right, take your right hand back to the floor. Pull your left knee in toward your chest and step it through. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2 position. Extend out through the arms. So give yourself a moment here to arrive. Softening through the shoulders, maybe turning the palms up. And then exhale, arms down. Clasp your hands behind your back. So open up the shoulders, suction cup, heels of the hands together, knuckles down. Maybe that's where you stay, or you can dive forward, aiming that left shoulder toward the inside of the left knee for ostrich pose. Feel the feet on the ground, pull your thighs back, let your head relax down. Couple more breaths here. Good, you guys. Let's come back upright to your warrior 2 position. Straighten up left leg. Triangle pose. Reach forward, left arm in the fingertips, left hand down. So keep your legs strong, your spine and torso lengthening. And once you create that stability, start to turn your heart a little more open toward the ceiling. 2 more breaths here. Right arm behind the back, everybody. And we're going to take an extra breath, opening through the shoulder, relaxing your neck. Look down at the floor, setting up for half moon Ardha Chandrasana. So shift your weight forward into that left leg, send your right leg up. Maybe that's where you stay, or take the right arm up and reach through the fingertips, or you can come to half bow, bending that right leg, reaching back for the foot. Again, it's similar to dancer pose, but the hips are open and stacked. 2 more huge breaths here in your balance. Let the right foot go. Send the right hand down, step back to your lunge. Now the weight is going to shift into the hands, and you'll unweight your left leg, send the left leg back and up, three-legged downward dog. Bend the leg and open up through the hip. Keep it here, or flip it over to wild thing pose or three-legged back bend. And so your version here, reach the left fingertips toward the front of the room, opening the chest. Take one more breath. All the way back to downward dog. You want to take one more chaturanga here. You can do it. Lower down. Open and lift through the heart. Downward facing dog. Good, you guys. Go ahead and come down to your knees. Maybe the knees a little wider. And sit all the way back for child's pose. And just give yourself several breaths here. If it would help to kind of move through the wrists a little bit, you can do that. And I'm going to pass the baton to Miss Katie.
All right, my friends. Thank you, Kim. That was hard. All right, so take about 3 to 5 more rounds of breath, just resting in your child's pose. So as you rest here, see if you can kind of change your energy a little bit. So start to slow down, start to breathe even steadier, even smoother. Maybe you give yourself a few exhales out your mouth, just kind of letting go of all of that hard work, all of that challenging work. And then coming into a softer version of yourself. Good job, you guys. So feel the connection, your connection to the ground, and allow it to just hold and support you completely. So you get to put all of your weight right now just into the earth. Any heaviness you're holding, let the ground carry it for you. Take one more deep breath, everybody in your child's pose. And then rise up to hands and knees, tabletop, and start to explore intuitively through your spine. So we did this at the very beginning of class with Kim. Do the same thing now, but notice how your body feels different. Notice all the work that you've done and all the space that you've created. So feel into the mobility of your spine, perhaps in ways that you couldn't before. And then feel into your shoulders, your hips, your neck, and get as creative as possible. So it helps me to close my eyes so I don't feel like anybody's looking at me or judging me. Really, it's just me judging myself. But it helps me just to close my eyes, to get out of my mind and go deeper into my body. So play with that and explore that. Take a few more breaths. Maybe even think of yourself as an animal. So a jungle animal, panther, cheetah. And imagine you're figuring out all the ways in which you can move your amazing, agile body. Just explore that. And then as you feel complete here, no rush, but eventually let's take it back into a more gentle downward facing dog. So think of it as a restorative downward facing dog rather than a power downward facing dog. So maybe you're just a little softer through your neck, through your shoulders. Maybe you allow your back to round ever so slightly if that feels good to you. Maybe you allow your knees to bend a little bit more. And then from here, you guys, we're going to take it into pigeon pose. So next time you inhale, extend your right leg to the sky. And then exhale, right shin to the top of your mat. Set your body down gently. Bring your right knee out wider than your right hip. So rather than in line with your right hip, you want your right knee towards the outer right edge of your mat. And then pull your right hip back, left hip forward. So the femur bones, those big bones in your thighs, you want to plug them into the hip sockets so we're not just sinking into our joints. Once you've got that, keep it and start to bow forward, stretching into that muscle around your right hip. And then breathe all the way down the length of your torso, all the way down into your hips. Maybe visualize your breath with your mind's eye. And we'll be here for about 10 rounds. So don't feel like you have to go 200% right at first and stay there the entire time. Maybe go about 75%, and with each breath, just allow yourself to go a little deeper. And I think all of you guys know this, but if you would rather take this posture on your back or in a seat, if that will be more beneficial to you or serve you in a better way, then please feel free. Know that that choice is always yours. So think of all of my cues as invitations, and then honor where you are at and what works for you. Take about 5 more slow, deep, smooth breaths. Last couple of rounds, maybe exhale out your mouth. So just a final release here, letting go of tension, letting go of stuck energy. And then slowly begin to lift your upper body. And then listen, we're gonna find our way into a 3-legged tabletop. So plant your hands, tuck your back toes under, and scoot your back knee forward. Unthread your right leg, take it back and give it a nice little shake out. And then from here, pivot on your left knee. So your left foot comes to the outside of your mat, right foot to the ground, right toes face towards the right side of your mat. Right arm to the sky, so you're in a modified side plank. Start with your right foot down, so press down through your right foot, and then reach your right arm forward towards the top edge of your mat. Use the leverage of your right foot against the ground to create more length in your right side body. So breathe into your right side. Think of lifting up through your left waistline and gently pressing your hips forward towards the right side of your mat. Take about 2 or 3 more breaths here. Good job, you guys. And then feel free to stay here, or another heart opener for you. Float your right foot up, bend your right knee, reach back, grab hold of your right foot. Kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot. So we've been doing this action a lot all throughout this practice. Spread your right toes and find that tension through your right leg as you kick your foot into your hand. See if you can rotate your heart to look up at the sky. Allow your shoulders to open. Take one more round. End of your exhale, everybody release. Come back to your hands and your knees. And then from hands and knees, take your left foot straight out to the left with your toes facing directly forward. Inhale, right arm reaches out to the right, all the way up to the sky. And then exhale, thread your right arm through. So reach through like you're trying to touch your left big toe. Come down to rest on the outside of your shoulder and the outside of your head. And you can take this wherever you want. So if you do not like having your left leg extended out, then feel free to bring your left knee back down. You might take your left arm behind your back or extend your left arm forward. So anywhere you want to go, and then just big, slow, steady breaths. Don't feel like you have to pick one position and hold it the entire time. So if you want to explore any movement, you're more than welcome to do so. We'll be here for about 5 more rounds. So just allow yourself to settle. Soften your face, unclench your jaw, take about 2 more breaths. Really expand into your back body. And then if you do have your left hand lifted, bring your left hand back to the ground. Everybody with your next inhalation, unthread your right arm, reach it all the way up to the sky, open up, and then exhale, bring your right hand down. Now take your left leg and you're gonna swing it all the way over to the other side. So left toes now come off the right side of your yoga mat, and then turn and gaze back over your right shoulder. Look back at your left toes. Lengthen through your left side body. Breathe into your left ribs. If you feel like your belly button is dropping towards the ground, draw it in and up towards your spine. See if you can twist a little further, turn a little further. Take one last breath. Nice work, you guys. End of your exhale, come back to your tabletop position, and then take it back, downward facing dog. And then just ever so gently walk out your dog, move around a little bit. So any movement that calls to you in your down dog, kind of like we explored on our hands and our knees before. Now think of that same exploration from the position of down dog. So let go of alignment for right now and just allow your body to move very intuitively. Take about 3 more deep breaths. Feel free to lift your legs, lift your arms, bend your elbows. So it's like you're doing a little dance from down dog. Close your eyes. All right, you guys, slowly just find a neutral spine. So back to your regular down dog position. Find your breath. Inhale, left leg to the sky. And exhale, pigeon pose, left shin to the top of your mat. Set your body down nice and easy. So left knee towards the outer left edge of your mat. And then pull left hip back, right hip forward. So you want to get your hips as even as possible, straight across from one another. Again, we're just plugging the femur bones into the sockets so we're not sinking into our joints. And then as you're ready, start your bow. And then even as you're bowing forward, imagine you're pulling your left hip back and up. So that will help you keep the integrity of the posture, the muscle energy. And then as you find that stability of the posture, just soften around it. So breathe into it. And with each exhale, just kind of melt through your outer body. Perhaps visualize your breath moving, flowing down into your hips, softening the muscles there. You're about halfway there. So take about 5 more very slow, deep breaths. See if you can take longer exhales than inhales. Last couple of breaths, maybe a big cleansing open mouth sigh. Feel free to make noise, even buzz your lips like a horse. So you have to soften all the muscles in your face to make that noise. So sometimes I like to practice making that noise just so I can relax my face. And then as you're ready, let's rise up. And remember our 3-legged tabletop. So plant your hands, spread your fingers wide, tuck your back toes, scoot your back knee in, forward, and then unthread your left leg. Take it back, give it a nice little shake out. And then from here, you guys, pivot on your right knee, so right foot to the ground behind you, off the right side of your mat. And then left leg extends straight back, left toes point towards the left side of your mat. And then left arm to the sky, so modified side plank. So for now, everybody put your left foot firmly on the ground. Try to stand with your left foot, so like it's suction cup to the earth, there's power there. And then take your left arm forward towards the front edge of your mat. So think of pressing your left foot down so that you can lengthen your left side and reach even further. Press your hips gently forward. Lift your right side body, use your right oblique. So feel the strength in your right side as you stretch your left. Take about 2 more breaths, just like this. Breathe into your breathe into your left ribs, your left waistline. You're welcome to stay here if you want. Otherwise, we'll move into that bind. So another heart opener, float your left foot up, bend your left knee, reach back, grab hold of your left foot. And then just like we've been doing, find that balance of kicking and pulling. Spread your left toes, let your shoulders open, let your heart open. Rotate your heart to look up. You can gaze up, or if it feels good to just let your head hang heavy, kind of forest yoga style, go for it. Take one last round wherever you're at. Really good, you guys. End of your exhale, slowly unwind, come back to a tabletop position. And then from your tabletop, right leg extends straight out to the right. So right toes face forward, and then reach your left arm out to the left and up. Big inhale here. Exhale, thread your left arm through, like you're trying to reach through and grab your right big toe. Some of you might be able to grab it with your peace fingers, and if you want to do that, go for it. Anywhere you want to take this posture, and if you don't like having your right leg extended out, then bring your right knee to the ground. Totally up to you. Big, slow, spacious breaths. Take about 4 more rounds.
Yeah, do I get 14 or 16?
Yeah. I'm fine with
All right. If you do happen to have your right hand lifted, slowly bring your right hand back to the earth. And then next time you breathe in, unthread your left arm, reach it all the way up, follow with your gaze, open up. Exhale, bring your left hand down, and then take your right leg, lift your right foot up, and then swing your right leg all the way over to the other side. So your right toes now come off the left side of your mat. Feel that squeezing through your inner thighs. Pull your hips over to the right, turn and gaze back over your left shoulder. So gazing to look back at your right toes. Draw navel to spine, breathe into your right side, and the right side of your back body, your back ribs. And then go ahead, end of your next exhale, come back to a regular tabletop. And then just for a moment, one more time, either a little bit of movement through your spine. So cat-cows, hip circles, anything that feels good, or if you'd rather just sit back into a child's or embryo pose, that's an option as well. So just about 3 to 5 breaths wherever you've chosen to go. All right, my friends, meet in a tabletop position, hands and knees, and then find your way into a seat. So sit facing towards the front of your mat. We're going to take either, and I'm going to give you the option, it's your choice. So a forward fold, either with legs extended straight forward or feet together, knees apart. So if you want more hips, go for feet together, knees apart. Cobbler's pose. If you want more hamstrings, legs extended forward. So if your legs are extended forward, take your inner thighs, spiral them down, get that sitting flesh, otherwise known as your butt cheeks, out from underneath you. So sit bones flat against the ground. And then everybody sit up really tall. If your legs are extended, your toes face up, your feet are flexed, press down through the backs of your heels. Everybody take an inhale and reach your arms up, and then lead with your heart, hinge at your hips. So don't round just yet. Lead with your heart for as long as you can. Reach, 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 and then let it go. So hands can come to the ground if your feet are together, knees are apart, or if your legs are extended forward, grab your legs wherever you can reach. If your legs are extended, see if you can start to press the backs of your thighs down while pressing down through the backs of your heels at the same time. If that's just one step too many, then let it go. So be in your pose. Take big breaths down into your low back, down into your hips and your legs. Let your face be soft. Let your neck relax. And with each inhalation, think of creating more space inside of you. With each exhale, just soften into that space or allow your body to soften. Take about 4 more rounds right here in your fold. All right, everybody take your next exhalation all the way to emptiness. So all the way to the very, very bottom. Then slowly, super, super slowly roll one vertebra at a time all the way up. So your arms can just follow. Your fingertips might drag against the ground. Your head is heavy. And then at the very, very last moment, your head lifts and stacks over your spine. Take a moment and just sit up tall, broaden through the fronts of your shoulders. If your legs are extended and you need to bend your knees a lot in order to sit up tall, then bend your knees a lot. Take a big inhale and see if you can lift the crown of your head higher, lengthen the back of your neck more. Exhale, keep your eyes closed or close your eyes and just turn your head to look over your left shoulder. Inhale, come back through center. Keep your shoulders nice and broad and very still. Exhale, turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Go back and forth a couple more times, making this movement as mindful as possible. Keep awareness in your spine. Keep awareness through the front of your shoulders. Keep awareness in your neck and your jaw. Keep awareness in your back body. Feel the strength there. And then can you even feel your center, that connection to your core, your intrinsic strength? Good job, you guys. Finish the round you are on. Notice just this extremely simple, mundane movement, how interesting it can become when you actually pay attention. Bring your gaze back to just straight forward, and let's take it all the way down onto our back. So however you want to get there, just lower on down. And then once you're on your back, hug your knees in towards your belly or your chest and just gently rock from side to side. You can grab hold of your kneecaps and circle your knees around, trace the outline of your sacrum against the ground. So just take a moment here, and again, feel the earth beneath you. Let it hold you. Give it all your weight. Anything heavy you're holding, give it to the earth. All right, my friends, supine spinal twist. So knees over to the right. And you can kind of scoot your hips around. So try to get your left hip straight down from your left shoulder. And then tee out your arms, cactus your arms against the earth. If you want to bring your right hand to the outside of your left thigh, feel free. Gaze up or over your left shoulder, whatever feels better on your neck. And then big, slow, deep breaths down into your belly. Rather than being in kind of a mode of anticipation, when will this pose be over? When do we move on? What is next? Can you just be in this pose and let everything else fall away? Just notice sensation. Notice energy, sound, vibration. thoughts, emotions. Let everything just come and go. You just notice. And then take what I just said, you just notice, and turn it into you just get to notice. So when you get to notice, when it's presented to you as a privilege or an opportunity, what happens inside of you? Can you commit a little more? Can you be a little more present, a little more open, a little more connected? And this moment is a privilege just to experience. So feel into that. Right now, in this moment where you are, everything is okay. You are okay. All right, my friends, take one last breath in your twist. And then ease your way back onto your spine, so just back to center. Hug your knees in for a moment, take a gentle rock side to side, or give your knees a big squeeze, maybe even lift your head up. So tiny little potato bug ball, as I like to call it. And then I'll just leave it up to you in your own time. Find your way into your supine twist with your legs going to the other side. So if you're doing what I'm cueing, it's knees over to the left. Chi out your arms, cactus your arms, or if you'd like, left hand to the outside of your right thigh, gaze up or over your right shoulder. Try to stay rooted through the back of your right shoulder. For some of you, it might not happen. It might lift up a little bit. That's fine. But just have the intention of keeping your right shoulder down so the front of your shoulders stay nice and broad, or as broad as possible in your body. And then slow, deep breaths all the way down into your belly. Take every single exhale all the way to empty. And again, just observe. You get to observe your body in this posture for the next couple of minutes. Everything that happens inside and outside of you. Everything that passes through. And then you guys take it even one step further. So now that you're observing, now that you're noticing, respond from a place of presence. So choose how you want to respond, or if you want to respond. So for example, if I feel tension in my shoulder or in my neck, I notice it. I kind of get curious about it, and then maybe I explore turning my head to the other side. Maybe I explore gazing straight up. Maybe I explore moving my hips around and see if that affects the way my shoulders and my neck feel. So that is responding from presence, from a place of observation and curiosity. So explore that. We'll be here for a few more breaths. And if you can hear my roommate's dogs barking upstairs, I apologize. What I like to think of when stuff like that happens is that's your yoga practice, is just observing that and then choosing how you want to respond rather than reacting. We'll be here for about 5 to 7 more breaths. And if you would like, take your last couple exhales out your mouth, just sigh them out. And then roll back onto your spine. Happy baby pose this time. So you guys know it, soles of your feet towards the sky, grab hold as high as you can, outer edges of your feet if possible. Pull down with your arms, flex your toes, press up through your heels. Maybe you want to rock around, maybe you want to straighten one leg and then the other. So explore any way you want to from your happy baby. And then if there are any other poses or stretches or movements that you would like to take to complete your own practice, give yourself about 5 to 10 more breaths to move through those. So maybe there's an inversion, maybe there's one last heart opener, one last back bend. Maybe you want to go straight into your Shavasana and just get really comfortable. And feel free, sometimes I like to even turn my lights off, light some Palo Santo wood. So feel free to transition in whatever way feels right to you. That's something I kind of like about being at my own home sometimes for yoga. And then my thought for you as you move towards your Shavasana, it's a quote by Young Pueblo. He says, "Heaviness comes from hanging on tightly to emotions that were always meant to be temporary. It is not easy to let go, especially when all we know is attachment. We want things to last forever, and we turn difficult moments into long-lasting pain simply because we have not learned to let go. We have not learned that the beauty of living comes from the movement of change. Letting go does not mean that we forget, and it does not mean that we give up. It just means that we are not letting our present happiness be determined by things that happened in the past or by things we wish to happen in the future." So that is what this practice is, you guys. The practice of yoga, stepping onto your mat every single time, I think is the practice of just letting go of how something is supposed to feel or something is supposed to look or how you are supposed to feel on the inside, what you are supposed to be experiencing. So it's letting go of everything we've been told, expectations that have been put on us, and feeling into ourselves, connecting back to our center, and then allowing just everything to pass through us, to have space within us. Let go of needing to react or change or fix and just allow. So for these last few moments, it doesn't look like Zozo is coming. So hopefully my playlist is still playing. Hopefully you're on the sound bowls and you can just enjoy your own little sound bath in your own home. So I'll bring you out of Shavasana in a couple minutes. So if you want to go, that's perfectly fine. If you want to stay, then please just enjoy the next few moments and I will bring you back when it's time. Shavasana. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And slowly start to bring gentle movement back into your physical body. And as you're ready, roll to either side, fetal position. Take just a moment, one last moment to rest and give all your weight, all your heaviness to the ground. Take one last moment to honor your practice and just leave it all on your mat. And take whatever you have learned, whatever has resonated with you in your heart, rise up to a seat. Eyes closed. Sit up nice and tall. Exhale in your breath. Inhale one last time. Sweep your arms out, around, and up, and just symbolically gather in all your efforts, all the energy from our practice together tonight. Bow your head to your heart. Thank yourself for showing up. And on behalf of me and Kim, we thank you for being here and letting us guide you. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thanks from them.
That was so awesome.
You guys are you guys made it through the whole practice. You a star on your forehead.
I'm actually surprised. I needed that.
Oh, I did too. That was wonderful.
I died for 1 minute, but I'm back alive.
Thank you so much for coming. You guys are the best.
Thank you for continuing this practice into the new year.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Nice
Thank you,
haircut,
guys.
Prime Dog.
Yeah, I'm ready for Mexico.
Nah. Looks good.
As soon as it's warm, you can. I'll rent out the backyard. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we gotta rent. We gotta rent now. We gotta
We can't get it for free anymore.
Yeah, you can. Usually beer or wine works. Yeah. I accept alcohol as a form of payment.
Good. I always have plenty to bring.
You guys know Keisha. I know Tanya does. This is Keisha.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's been
She's a good
coming
friend.
almost every week, so
Yeah. She
it's
loves
about
it.
time I introduce her to the group.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It's
And
Oh,
been-
you're there. We're like, we love Keisha. We love Keisha. Oh, there's Keisha.
I'm right here.
We have to
guys.
scroll.
Yeah, she's right there.
I'm right here.
You guys are the best. Andrea and Tanya, where are you? That's what I'd like to know.
We're in my basement.
No, not really, but I just like where you're like, oh, she's there. I'm like, yeah, I can see her. Can't see you. And you're
Oh,
basement.
here, sorry.
But you're
It's very dark.
It has good vibes though.
So many succulents. Dark but good vibes. That's my energy.
That's a little too good. Okay,
Great playlist too.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
I'm glad.
Wait, let me see Rubes. How's Ruby doing?
Oh, come here, Ruby. Say hi.
Hi, Ruby. Oh, hi, baby. Ruby do. Hi. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart.
Oh, hi, Ruby. Oh,
She's
down
really
dog.
It's long spine.
Hi, Ruby. Hi, Ruby. Oh, I miss her.
She'll come to you tomorrow. Don't worry.
Oh.
Okay, guys. I love you.
Thanks so
Love
much.
Yeah.
Love you. Thank you so
coming.
much.
Love you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Namaste.